Now this is number 53 on page 46. So I'm going to approach this one a little bit differently, but just so that you know, these are commute times for all 50 states and British Columbia. So anyway, they want you to make a histogram. That's a bar graph. Now we could do that by hand. They want the classes, that means the width to be 2 minutes, so like 14 to 16. So how many people have a commute between that's more than 14 minutes but less than 16 minutes, in between that range? Okay, so we are going to use the calculator to do this. So we are going to use this list function, and we will be using this list function quite a bit. So let's get started. So what we do is we have this special button that's just for us. See right there, stat, and above it it says lists. Okay, so if you press stat, you'll see this right here, and then it'll pop up right there, and you are going to edit your first list and just press enter. So when you press enter, you should see this L1, list 1, list 2, list 3, and I just put the numbers in there, all 51 numbers from the book. So do that. Now once you have the numbers in the lists, notice that we have right here stat plot. So you press second, y equals, you should see this screen, and we're going to use our first plot for our stat plot, and it's going to make a bar graph for us. So once you press stat plot, this is a little blurry, but you'll see this, and you're just going to use the arrow keys to see these arrow keys to get down here to highlight this graph right here. It looks like a bar graph. Okay, next. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, the graph is always 10 in either direction, plus 10, minus 10 in the x-axis, and plus 10, minus 10 in the y-axis. So I'm going to change this because it's a bar graph, and they tell us in the problem that they just want us to start at 14 minutes. And then I don't think anybody drove more than 30 minutes. So this is my x-axis from 14 to 30. The scale is going to be 2. So that's the width of the bar, 2 minutes each. So it's going to go 14 to 16, 16 to 18, 18 to 20, all the way up to 30. And then how many are in each group? So turns out I had to do this a couple times because I didn't have enough, but I go from 0 to there isn't any group that has more than 15 drivers that drive in that category. Anyway, that may be a little bit confusing, but let's take a look at the graph. So here's what the graph looks like. Now it's kind of, this stuff would not be here, but see, I pressed trace to show you something. See, if you press trace, you can go along the tops of these bars, and it shows you right here. This bar right here is less than 22 minutes, or, well, from 20 minutes to right up to 22 minutes. And how many people drive? 8. There are 8 people, 8 states where the average drive time is between 20 and 22 minutes. Okay, hopefully that helps. And it does look like it's a little bit skewed, right? Skewed to the left. The longer side is on the left side, skewed to the left. And right here you could tell that this is right about the middle, and I think it's around 23 minutes. Okay, so that's the answer to number 53.